Sonic Speed!
Woohoo! It's been confirmed that Sonic Mania is treating more of the nostalgic fans of classic Sonic than the newer fans. Obviously with the graphics, the art style, the enemies, the gameplay, it's all an obvious tribute to the Genesis era of Sonic the Hedgehog. And it has been confirmed for a while now that the stages being used in Sonic Mania will mostly be returning classics that'll be remixed and refurbished than new stages. Sonic Mania will approximately be 60% older stages remixed and 40% newer stages. Of the new stages we've seen are Studiopolis Zone and Mirage Saloon Zone. And we were teased with another new zone in the form of a picture, but the picture they teased is very pixelated and likely a small part of the stage, so it's impossible to say what stage it could exactly be. But of the classic stages we know that are returning are Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1 and Flying Battery Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But if we're getting more classic stages than new stages, what kind of stages are we looking at that may be coming back? In this video, I'll be talking about the likely candidates for remixed older stages and ending it with my most favorable picks. When it comes to choosing these selections of the zones, I'm basing it more on the level design, the popularity, how iconic it is, and the potential its redesigned form could have. Also another thing, Christian Whitehead, a programmer behind Sonic Mania, as well as known for creating modern ports of the classic Sonic games, stated this game will be longer than Generations, and each zone will have 2 acts like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 Knuckles, as well as a boss at the end of each act. If that's the case, as well as Sonic 3 and Knuckles taking the most inspiration, we're going to be looking at a decent number of older zones here. And if any of my candidates don't get selected in favor of others, I'll write a post on GameFAQs, NeoGAF, 4chan, Reddit, and say how bad Sonic Mania is gonna be. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm gonna like the game either way because so far it's promising as hell times 10. If none of my candidates get selected, I'm not gonna care. I'm sure the other selections will look and play fine. I'm sure it'll all work out. When it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, the only stages I could think of people love and can not only emphasize Sonic's speed but core platforming mechanics are 2 zones. One of which is Spring Yard Zone. I think Spring Yard Zone has a decent shot with its interesting art style enemies. They could definitely make some changes around here and complement Sonic's roots as a platformer and add some more loops and speed sections, and I'd love to hear its theme remixed. I think Spring Yard Zone could come back. The second stage I had in mind is Starlight Zone, a short and easy stage like Green Hill Zone, iconic theme and level design. Lots of Sonic fans love Starlight Zone. This zone I feel like will have a better chance than Spring Yard Zone just because of its iconic nature and is one of the more beloved zones of Sonic 1. And that's fine, I'd be down to see Starlight Zone again. Seeing the city in the background, seeing how much more creative the loops and sections and enemies could get as well as the remixed bosses. Plus that theme is catchy and upbeat and I'd like to see it remixed. I'm gonna bring up music a lot, by the way. With the other zones in this game and other Sonic games, the ones I won't mention as candidates, it's either because of the history it has with the fans, the overall pacing and structure of the level, or because it's not as iconic as others, or because I don't personally see them coming back. Now with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, there's more love to be had with this title compared to its predecessor. Chemical Plant Zone, for example, is a beloved zone. It has an iconic theme, level design, graphic design. People love Chemical Plant Zone as it was used in Sonic Generations. I think Chemical Plant Zone has a high chance of coming back due to these. Same for Casino Night Zone, but maybe to a lesser extent. When everyone thinks of Sonic and Rings, one of the more common thoughts is a casino-based zone. Its catchy tune, its lack of enemies, its unique design, and something you often don't see in many cartoonish games anymore. Something to break up that action and fast pacing in favor of exploration, unique level design, and ambiance. The only issue I could see is the vibe it gives. It's kinda similar to Studiopolis Zone, because even though Studiopolis Zone is based off a city of film and video production, the colors, the layout, the background, the overall vibe, it's similar to Casino Night Zone. I could see that hindering Casino Night Zone's chances, though I'd be fine with or without it. It's a decent zone in my opinion, but a lot of other fans like it. And finally, when someone thinks of Sonic 2, who cannot forget the PTSD that is Metropolis Zone, the only zone in the game to have 3 acts and seems to be the bane of every Sonic fan's childhood. It's a lengthy zone, no doubt about it, but it's got a catchy tune, interesting and spiteful enemies, unique design, and a sort of ambiance that's reminiscent to Scrap Brain Zone from Sonic 1. I think what makes this zone a candidate is because of the fact that it's so infamous, yet it's also challenging and can be tweaked to suit the player's taste in terms of enemy and level design. To be honest, I kinda like Metropolis Zone, and it would be interesting, without a doubt, to not only see it return, but also see fans' reactions. Now to Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Similarly loved to Sonic 2, but a smaller zone count more akin to Sonic 1. The only two zones I can think of are Palm Tree Panic, which is the first zone of the game, and Stardust Speedway, the second to last one. Palm Tree Panic is that sort of Green Hill-esque zone, but still well remembered and loved for the happy vibes and bright colors it gives, complemented with its cheery tune in the Japanese score of Sonic CD. Fans might be okay with it, I don't know, but Stardust Speedway I could see having a better shot. Not only is this stage iconic for its Japanese score in the bad future, as well as its level design, colors, background, and setting, just setting around a giant statue of Dr. Robotnik in a Metropolis-esque city somewhat, but this was also the battleground where Sonic and Metal Sonic had their final battle in Sonic CD. The sheer iconicness of the zone with using Metal Sonic alone is enough to get people hype, let alone its theme and gimmicks. People would likely orgasm if this zone comes back, and that does make you wonder something, which is, will Metal Sonic be in this game? Maybe I'll save that for a separate video, let me know if you'd like to see that. But yeah, I think Stardust Speedway's got a significant chance now that I think about it. And lastly, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, the most praised classic Sonic game among almost every Sonic fan ever. But due to time constraints and the cost of a large memory capacity cartridge, Sonic Team had to divide the game into two, one half being Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and the other being Sonic and Knuckles. Each game had 6 zones with 2 acts, and if you do the math, that's 12 zones. Technically 13 if we're going into spoiler territory with Sonic and Knuckles, but there's more room to work with and more options compared to the other games. For one, just because it's one of the more memorable zones, it's the first zone we were introduced to Knuckles the Echidna in. I think Angel Island Zone has a fair shot. It's where the Master Emerald is being held, the first stage in the game to encourage exploration for it being kind of big. It's memorable, it has a good theme. Another Green Hill-esque zone, Angel Island, is iconic, and I think it has a decent chance at being remixed. Though a much better option in my opinion, and I'm sure for plenty of other fans as well, would be Hydrocity Zone. Lots and lots of Sonic fans love Hydrocity Zone. It's a water level, it's unique, it's lovable, it's catchy, it's nostalgic. Compared to Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1, Tidal Tempest from Sonic CD, and Aquatic Ruin Zone from Sonic 2, Hydrocity Zone is much more loved and remembered by fans. I think fans would also go gaga over Hydrocity Zone, and I would love to see how it would look and play in a modern 2D classic Sonic game. Its chances are very high. But another zone fans will recognize is Carnival Night Zone. This zone has a fair shot in my eyes, not as big as Hydrocity Zone, but still decent enough. The barrels are enough to make this zone memorable, the PTSD it caused fans, much like Petropolis Zone. Though, I wonder if it'll have the same effect on me when I play this game blind for my channel. Through its color scheme, circus-like theme, interesting level design, these could back up this zone's inclusion, though kinda like how it'd be troublesome for Casino Night Zone to be in because of Studiopolis Zone's similarities like I mentioned earlier. I think Carnival Night Zone may be a similar case as well because it's a night themed zone, its background kind of resembles the city, the color scheme is similar to a lesser extent, and yeah, but I can see it having a decent shot like Casino Night Zone. But a zone I'm keen on coming back, and you can feel the nostalgia with this one, is Ice Cap Zone. No doubt in my mind, Ice Cap Zone will return. It's a snow level, Sonic snowboards in this zone, it has interesting level design, it has memorable moments. It's actually the first main classic Sonic level to even have a snow theme. The music is iconic. Fans will also go insane if they bring back Ice Cap Zone. I have a strong feeling it has a high chance of returning. And the final zone I could think of is Death Egg Zone. Now technically this zone was also in Sonic 2, but not only was its layout different, it served more as a battleground for one of the bosses of that game and the final boss. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's an actual full zone, and the level design is definitely more memorable and interesting for plenty of fans. It has an interesting theme, interesting enemies. I think this zone has a fairly substantial chance, mostly because of, again, its memorability, but also because they could throw Death Egg in there, though it could be easily redesigned, much like how the transition was from Sonic 2 to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I personally feel it has a good shot, and those are my candidates for the possible classic stages to come back remixed into Sonic Mania. But what of these stages do I see the likeliest to come back? Due to the factors of nostalgia, level design, potential refurbishing, etc., as well as the fact we already have Green Hill and Flying Battery in there, here are the most likely zones to come back in my opinion. Starlight Zone from Sonic 1, Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2, Metropolis Zone from Sonic 2, Stardust Speedway from Sonic CD, Hydrocity Zone from Sonic 3 Knuckles, Ice Cap Zone from Sonic 3 Knuckles, and the Death Egg Zone from Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic & Knuckles, with a good chance of an overall redesign. Adding Green Hill and Flying Battery That's a total of 9 classic zones, and the reason these are selected are because of what I said before I went over this, and also because of the fact this game is longer than Sonic Generations, and is taking inspiration from Sonic 3 and Knuckles the most. If 3 and Knuckles is anything to go off of, 14 stages total, 9 seems to be a reasonable number of classic zones, and I feel like we'll get a number of 14 to 16 zones total, to be honest. As like I said in the beginning, 60% of the game is classic zones, whereas 40% is new zones, and there's always a chance my list could be wrong and 1 or 2 options may be cut. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Do you have other zones you'd like to see come back instead of the ones I suggested? Let me know down below, and like always, thank you for watching and stick around for more things Sonic and other gaming videos. Take care and stay super.